His primary project is I for Public, a simplicity mall.
Don't forget to fill in the attendance form until the session has ended. The link will be provided in the chat box at the end of the event. Thank you for your cooperation. Mohammed, Marketing Director and Instructor, Sponsors Treatment, Mr. Shazim Musa, Co-founder of Country Management Solutions, Head of Department, Assistant Professor, sorry, Honorable Lecturer staff and all the students. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good morning to everyone. Welcome to the Health and Wellness Campaign webinar. Ladies and gentlemen, please be standing as you are going to sing the national anthem, IIUM, Negara 2, IIUM song and Asma.
Ladies and gentlemen, you may be seated. With the blessing of God, we are gathered here today in Google Meet and YouTube Live for this beneficial event. As we all know, the pandemic of COVID-19 has already changed our world decisively and forced upon the world a painful transformation. It has changed everything, the way we work, and the manner in which we communicate, teach, and learn. Therefore, this program is conducted as a beneficial sharing for us as students and lecturers in battling health issues for holistic wellness and some lifestyle tips to achieve success. Before we move on, let us begin with the recitation of Dua and Quranic verses that will be led by Brother Haziq Imran.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الفاتحة. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. اللهم إنك خلاق العظيم، إنك سميع عليم، إنك غفور رحيم، إنك رب العرش العظيم، إنك البر الجواد الكريم. Ya Allah, Ya Rahim, on this blessed morning, in conjunction with the Health and Wellness campaign webinar, we beseech Thee and grateful towards You in favor of all the infinite blessings to us, Your humble servant, to live in a safe and prosperous life. We seek your blessing for a flawless progress of this event from the beginning till the end. We seek your guidance to steer clear of events that will be detrimental to the progress of this event. Ya Latif, Ya Rahman, please bless us with your tawfiq and hidayah. Please grant to our heart the peace, glory, and prosperity in this world and the hereafter. O Allah, please protect us from the harm of COVID-19 and give us strength to face this pandemic with your guidance and blessings. Allahumma inni as'aluka al-afwa wal-afiyah fid dunya wal-akhirah. O Allah, we seek your forgiveness and well-being in this world and the hereafter. ربنا عليك توكلنا وإليك أنبنا وإليك المصير. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. وصلى الله على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين. آمين. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ولا تهنوا ولا تحزنوا وأنتم الأعلون إن كنتم مؤمنين. Do not lose hope nor be sad. You will surely be victorious if you are true believers. صدق الله العظيم.
Next on agenda, I would like to pass the floor to the respected moderator, Assistant Professor Dr. Nur Zalifa Zainal Abidin. Please welcome.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to our AAB Week Welness session. And then our second speaker will be Madam Emilia Wati Zainul. The third speaker will be Mr. Shazli Musa, and the final speaker will be Mr. Fakhruddin Muhammad. Okay, we hope all the speaker will be able to do the sharing. It's more of a sharing tips in order to have a holistic development and holistic wellness in such that we are able to link to our relationship with Allah, and thus having to cope with our health and wellness situation. Alhamdulillah, without further ado, I would like to introduce Dr. Muhammad Nur Mahat. I'm going to read his biodata. It is quite a long biodata. Dr. Muhammad Nur is a fellow ex-MRSM student, and also I myself is also kawan lah. We are the friends of our college schools, okay, the high schools. Alhamdulillah, he is able to join with us. And okay, date of birth tak payah bagi tahu eh. Okay, so his educational background, Sir Dr. Muhammad Nur, he has done his Bachelor of Science Honours Genetic in UKM, and then he pursued his master's in UPM, University Pertanian Malaysia, and he continued his doctorate in UPM as well, having to specialize in forest genetic and tree improvement. And then in 2015, he completed his diploma in Islamic Studies in our Kuliah of Islamic Revealed Knowledge and Human Science. And we were classmates as well, Alhamdulillah. And in terms of his working experiences, Dr. Makno is also a research officer, and he is now adjunct professor at UTM, and he is now the CEO of Malaysia company Aga Premium. Okay. The international involvement that he is with is back in 1995 till 1997. He has done a project on improved productivity of man-made forests through application of advances in tree breeding and propagation. Okay, he is also a working committee in the formulation of forest land-oriented resource envisioning system, and he is now the scientific authority for Malaysia Insights Agarwood Working Group. Basically, we would like him to actually give more input in terms of how to create balance and obtaining our wellness through the spirituality experiences. And I think I have 3 sets of questions. So Dr. Makno akan berdiri dekat situ ke atau here? Okay, so there are 3 questions that I would like to address to Dr. Makno. What is the role of spirituality in healthcare? That's the first question. Okay, the second one is how to take care of our spirituality with our healthcare, and how the influence of religion and our spirituality can help in terms of obtaining the wellness. So creating a balance, a holistic balance. So Alhamdulillah, without further ado, we would like to call for Sir Dr. Muhammad Nur Mahat.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. First of all, I would like to thank UIA for giving me this opportunity, and I love the words that come from Dr. Zali. We normally call it Zali. That is the most simple word that we used to call her. For giving me the opportunity, and I like this word, her word when we said sharing. Sharing means that I would like to share some of the knowledge that I learned from here and there. If you all not to teach you, I'm just a normal person like you all. I'm not a people, but as nobody say, and I'm just a normal person like you. But this is the opportunity I have a little bit of knowledge that I learned from partly from University UIA, researcher in Islamic study. So now I would like to share how the role of our religion, the role of religion itself has passed in the third question. Maintaining our wellness. More or less, I would go on the spirituality, then the physical part. physical part will be, for the other speaker. So, I think some of the my talk today will be in my mother tongue, because as you know, from a very remote area. I was born in London. I am from Negeri Sembilan, and of course my language is my mother tongue and Bahasa Malaysia. I normally teach people in English in my field, not in Islamic study. So especially when you converse in Al-Quran, Hadith, and directly translated in the English language could difficult for me, because so then I will share it with them a bit virtually, so that it would be better for me to speak my own language and transfer and do. I very much thankful to UIA, because you know that one of the hadith Rasulullah SAW said, "Man kana yu'minuna billahi wal yawmil akhir fayaqulul khair aw liyasmut." Barang siapa yang beriman dengan Allah dan hari akhirat, fayaqulul khair, hendaklah dia berkata yang baik, awliyasmu, atau dia diam saja. Kalau dia tidak boleh bercakap yang baik, it will benefit you and benefit myself most importantly, and at the same time benefit all of us. You know, one of the Quran says, waman ahsanu qawlan mimman da'a ila Allah. There's another Quran says, apakah yang lebih baik perkataannya daripada mereka yang menyeru ke jalan Allah. Okay, to tell people the truth. So alhamdulillah, saya amat bersyukur kerana pada hari yang mulia ini, di bulan Ramadan yang penuh barakah, I would be able to share with you some of my experience that has been almost 53 years old. Kan, tadi malas nak mention tarikh lahir. So but now I'm telling you I'm 1968 lah. But actually the actual age is more than that, because I am an adopted son of the Negeri Sembilan family. They changed the date of, this is normal practice those days lah. Okay. So I'm old now. So why spiritual is very important ialah, let me share the first word from Dr. Zali herself. This COVID-19 has caused us anxiety, has caused depression. This is all something to do, not merely physical, but mainly to our spiritual ataupun our hati. Now I want to share with you, cuba kita bayangkan, if you all go into exam, perasaan kan, that is normal student do. When you do mathematics exam, katakan ataupun physics exam, involve calculation, where do you find the difficulty? Terasa di kepala atau di hati? Kan, kita akan rasa kerumitan itu berlaku di otak kita kan. Macam mana nak jawab soalan? So, but apa kata sekiranya you rasa marah? Apa kata rasa you timbul rasa sayang, love pada seseorang? You rasa kat mana? Rasa kat kepala, rasa dekat jantung, kat hati. And that is a very simple experiment. Betul tak? So now we're talking about anxiety, we are talking about depression. Di manakah kita rasa? Di hati kan? So jadi hati ini satu perkara yang amat penting dalam kehidupan kita. before I go into what Islam said about it, what the Prophet Muhammad said about it, but I want to bring some of the discipline that we learned at the university that become our life. I learned in the university, I become a researcher in one of the government departments. So my life full of, scholar life. Do you know that when we go, okay, now I just asked about, from Dr. Zali about your discipline. Are we in the same discipline? Then more or less, it's more the same. One of the things is that when we write things in our scientific journals or write up, we have to cite literature review. Betul tak? Why do you need to recite your literature review? Why literature review is so important? Can anybody answer? Simple to say, because we want what we do, what we say, what we are going to proceed in our research or work must be guided with reference so that we won't go astray. Now this is very important. If you don't write your citation, most likely you will not pass in your exam, pass your thesis and not graduated. Is it right? Just important to get us that certificate in the whole our life is not so important actually. There are people who succeed in life without certificate. We can see it as everywhere. But what I'm trying to say, to get that certificate, small certificate, you need to have a reference. You need to have a guidance. What more our life is already in our discipline. So in our life, what we do, in every day, what decision, our behavior should have a citation. That discipline that been taught to us being a scholar, and being a learned person, studying in the university. Why don't we take this into our life? Whatever we want to do, we must have a guidance, a citation. Being a Muslim, the Prophet has said to us, "Taraktu fikum amrayn, imma tamassaktum bihima kitab lan tadillu abadan, kitab Allah wa sunnatur Rasul." Aku tinggalkan pada kamu dua perkara yang sekiranya kamu berpegang teguh dengannya, lan tadillu abada, you will not be lost forever. Kita tidak akan sesat selama-lamanya. Kitab Allah wa sunnatur Rasul. This is our best guidance. So, what I'm going to share with you today, how to solve our problem on this, how to solve our wellness issue, is about how the Prophet and the Quran teach us, because ad-din nasihat. Ad-din itu nasihat. Ad-din itu suatu peraturan. Ad-din itu suatu panduan. Liman ya Rasulullah, untuk siapa kan? Untuk lillah, untuk Allah, lil Rasul, untuk Rasul, dan ila akhir, panjang hadis. Ad-din itu kita jadikan sebagai sumber kehidupan kita, yang mengatur peraturan hidup kita, yang mengajar kita bagaimana untuk hidup. Let me bring you the Quran itself. In the Surah Al-Baqarah ayat 2, the second verses, Alif Lam Mim, Dzalikal kitab la raiba fihi hudal lil muttaqin. Al-Quran itu adalah kitab yang la raiba fihi, tiada keraguan di dalam. Dalam surah Hudal lil Muttaqin, petunjuk bagi mereka-mereka yang bertakwa, yang takut pada Allah, yang beriman dengan Allah, yang percaya bahawa Allah ala kulli syai'in qadir. Allah atas segala sesuatu dia yang menentukan, termasuklah COVID yang melanda kita. Al-Quran itu Allah kata la raiba fihi, Kalau ada di antara kita ataupun semuanya, Allah challenge. Wa in kuntum fi raib mimma nazzalna ala abdina fa'tu bi suratin min mislih wad'u syuhada'akum min dunillah in kuntum ta'lamun. In kuntum, Allah mencabar kita, wa in kuntum fi raib, sekiranya kamu masih ragu, mimma nazzalna ala abdina, apa yang kami turunkan kepada hamba kami Muhammad, yakni Al-Quran, waktu bi suratin min mislih, bawalah satu surah yang sama dengan itu. Tak perlu lebih baik, sama cukup. Wad'u syuhada'akum, dan bawalah semua pembantu-pembantu kamu min dunillah, selain daripada Allah, atau malaikat sekalipun. Do you know that until now, especially the Jews are trying to do, dulu daripada kaum asalnya musyrikin, kaum musyrikin, Quraisy musyrikin at that time, try to do Al-Quran, new verses, menyahut cabaran ini. Until now, there's a lot of people are trying to do it, but nobody can do it. That is Al-Quran. So kalau kita tidak menggunakannya, amatlah rugi. Dan Rasulullah SAW, that now I go to another point. Rasulullah kata, ada fil jasadi mudghah. Sungguhnya ketahuilah di dalam jasad itu ada mudghah, ada seketul daging atau seketul darah. Wa iza salahat jasad kullu wa iza fasadat jasad kullu. Ketahuilah dalam diri jasad itu ada seketul daging ataupun seketul darah. Apabila salahat, apabila dia sehat dan jasad kullu, wa iza fasadat jasad kullu. Maka apabila dia rosak, maka rosaklah seluruh jasad itu. Jadi di antara perkara yang penting jasad kita ini, wellness of the jasad ini, katanya Rasulullah SAW, ada hati itu sendiri. Apabila hati itu baik, maka baiklah. Maka hati itu, maka rosaklah. Kalau kita tengok pada hari ini, saintifik, kajian-kajian saintifik, antara lainnya yang saya bawa yang simple-simple, yang mungkin adik-adik sendiri atau anak-anak sendiri pernah dengar, atau sahabat pernah dengar, Profesor Muhayya, betul? One of the medical professor. What is one of the words there from Professor Muhayya? I'm not a medical doctor, but at least you heard from medical doctors. She said, kebencian, kita tidak puas hati, kita tidak redha apa yang ditakdirkan, maka badan kita, when we put negative things inside the heart, our body will secrete all the bad hormone, will cause our body deteriorate. Pernah dengar kan? Pernah kan? Jadi maksudnya, kalaulah hati ini kita tidak jaga, kita tidak bersihkan, kita memilih yang negatif, sebab memang diri kita ni Allah jadikan, Allah kata wa nafsi wa ma sawwaha, diri, wa nafs wa ma sawwaha, dan apa yang diilhamkan dalam diri itu, fa alhamaha fujuraha wa taqwaha, maka diilhamkan, ditaruh dalam diri kita ini fujur, sifat jahat, wa taqwaha, dan sifat takwa, sifat takut ke Allah, sifat baik. Tapi apa masalah dia? Qad aflaha man zakkaha wa qad khaba man dassaha. Beruntunglah orang yang membersihkannya, menyucikannya, dan merugilah orang yang mematuhi. Dan betullah, benarlah Rasulullah SAW apabila dia kata al-imanu la bitaman, iman itu bukan sesuatu yang diangan-angankan, walakin ma biqarabi qalbi wasaddaqatul amal, tetapi sesuatu yang diikrar dalam hati, tidak cukup, wasaddaqatul amal, dibuktikan dengan amal. Sebab apa? Kalau kita nak kata dalam hati saya baik, walaupun saya jahat, benar, sebab Allah katakan fa'alhamaha fujuraha wa taqwaha. Memang ada sifat fujur, bisa takwa. Tapi Allah kata qad aflaha man zakkaha. Rasulullah kata wasaddaqatul amal, Dibuktikan dengan amal menunjukkan mana yang kita pilih. Which one we choose? The good or the bad ones. Amal itulah yang menentukan, yang menunjukkan mana yang kita pilih. Dan Allah cakap, Rasulullah SAW juga beritahu kita, Inna Allah la yanzuru ila jasamikum wa ila suwarikum walakin Allah yanzuru ila qulubikum. Sesungguhnya Allah tidak melihat jasad kamu ataupun pakaian kamu, dan sesungguhnya Allah melihat hati kamu. So this is very important untuk kita menjaga hati kita. Dan apa yang boleh menjaga hati kita? Yang boleh mendidik kita agama, Al-Quran, ajaran Rasulullah SAW. Contohnya, okey, sebelum itu saya bagi juga dua perkara. Salah satu lagi kajian yang dibuat oleh Profesor John Batch dari University of Wales tahun 2003. Akhirnya come out with theory, they call it John Batch hallway theory. Tahukah anak-anak sekalian, apakah teori John Batch ini? John Batch ini adalah seorang profesor di University of Wales, sebelum itu University of New York. Pakar psikologi. He's a pakar psikologi. Dia membuat satu kajian, dia mengambil 40 student dan dia mewajibkan student ini menjadi genetik dia, trial dia, mewajibkan mereka ini mengeluarkan kata-kata yang baik, bersikap positif for 30 days or every day, daily. For example, I'm a very successful guy, so I read all with what I have, many things, all good things. He said all good things for 30 days. So saya minta maaf atas gangguan telefon itu. So that is one group. The second group, they ambil 40 students to recite, to say all negative things. Saya bodoh, saya tak pandai, saya tak puas hati, saya many all negative things for 40 days. And then dia panggil reviewer atau evaluator to come. This evaluator do not know all the student. Then dia arahkan student itu masuk di dalam kawasan eksperimen dia itu, lalu dan tengok akhlaknya. Dan all the evaluator ni, reviewer ni, to classify this group A and B. Dia melalui appearance mereka. A bagus, B tak bagus lah. Through appearance saja. Ni, physical appearance. So, all these people masuk. You know what is the result akhir? All evaluator akan menggrupkan grup yang bercakap baik itu satu grup A, yang cakap buruk ni minta maaf sesangat sebab saya memang sangat sibuk, orang yang call all the time. So digrupkan pada dua grup dan happen to be those who speak bad all the for the 3 days in the one group and good in. Then the theory, his hypothesis to say is very true. And he's come up with a theory when every time that we say bad things, negative things, our new cell tu dia akan tumbuh dengan tidak baik. I forgot again about the theory how but it affected your cells. But when you do, because our cells need regenerate all the time. When the new cell come out, then we use all the bad words that affected the growth of the cell, and at the end of the day, deteriorate our body. To reduce the wellness, if you want to see in terms of wellness. So lebih kurang sama dengan apa yang dikatakan oleh Profesor Muhayyar tadi kan, atau there are many more medical doctors, professors say in these two things. Then it sadaqah Rasulullah. Yang Rasulullah pun cakap tadi, wa iza salahat jasad kullu Wa iza fasadat jasad kullu ala wahiyya qalb. Ketahuilah yang dia itu adalah hati. That is our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Dan kita pun tahu, if those who believe in Allah, in the Quran, who is our Prophet? Prophet is Rasulullah. What is Rasulullah? One of the features of Rasulullah SAW, وَمَا يَنْتِكُ عَنِ الْهَوَىٰ إِنْ هُوَ إِلَّا وَحْيٌ يُوحَىٰ. Betul. Rasulullah itu tidak bercakap dengan hawa nafsunya, in huwa illa wahyun yuha, melainkan apa yang telah diwahyukan. Dan kita melihat kan, kalau kita menghayati setiap perkara di dalam Al-Quran ini, hatta al-asma'ul husna, kita akan rasa tenang, hati kita akan tenang. Hati kita akan tenang. Okay, now balik semula kepada apa yang berlaku sekarang ni, penuh dengan pandemik, penuh dengan sekatan, kekecewaan, kegagalan dalam bisnes. Okay. Bagi orang yang beriman, dia akan tenang saja. Pernahkah kita sama-sama membaca Al-Quran? Cuba tengok ayat 155 surat Al-Baqarah. Apa Allah kata dalam ayat ini? وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ بِالشَّيْءٍ. Sungguh-sungguh kami akan menguji kamu dengan segala sesuatu. Dengan kelaparan, kekurangan dalam jasad, maksudnya sakit, kekurangan dalam harta. Kan saya macam ni kadang-kadang lupa, let me take the Quran. Luckily the handphone also sometimes become disturbance, but sometimes become very helpful. So make use of our handphone in a very good way. Let me read you the verses. Look at ayat 155. وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ بِشَيْءٍ من الخوف والجوع والنقص من الأموال والأنفس والثمرات وبشر الصابرين. Apa Allah kata? Demi sesungguhnya kami akan menguji kamu dengan sedikit perasaan takut dan kelaparan dan berlakunya kekurangan dalam harta benda, jiwa dan hasil tanam. Maksud dalam jasad kita sakit dan sebagainya. Dan berilah kabar gembira orang-orang yang sabar. Dan Allah kata, wa alladzina iza asabathum musibah qalu inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un. Mereka yang ditimpakan oleh Allah musibah, this is part of the musibah COVID. Okay, mereka berkata qalu inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un. Mereka berkata sesungguhnya kami kepunyaan Allah dan Allah ada jualah tempat kami kembali. Maknanya mereka sentiasa redha dan sabar. Dan Allah kata ulaika alaihim salawatun min rabbihim, mereka lah orang-orang ke atas mereka itu salawat daripada Tuhan mereka dan rahmah wa ulaika humul muftadun, dan mereka lah orang-orang yang diberi petunjuk. So kita relate back dengan tadi dengan hati kita, dengan eksperimen yang dilakukan oleh John Batch tadi, di mana orang yang sentiasa kecewa contohnya dengan COVID kita, kan, bisnes tak jadi, susah nak bergerak, dan always complain all the time, cursing others, kan. So what will happen to them? Kita merosakkan hati kita, bahkan negatif itu datang semula kepada kita, dan our wellness become deteriorating dan makin berkurangan. So dan betul lah kata Rasulullah SAW. Dan kita melihat bahawa orang yang sentiasa menerima takdir Allah dengan penuh gembira, apabila Allah memberikan dia rezeki yang baik-baik, perkara yang baik, dia tetap redha, alhamdulillah. Apa juga apabila Allah memberi dia musibah, dia tetap redha dan alhamdulillah juga ala kulli hal. Dan ini akan menenangkan perasaan dan memberikan, as I said, bring the wellness. So I hope all of these will answer to the question, yang dibagi oleh Puan Moderator tadi, barulah kita menjadi orang yang benar-benar yang Allah kata wala khaufun alaihim wala hum yahzanun. Mereka ni tidak ada perasaan takut di dalam hati mereka dan tidak berduka cita. Dan kita ni dipenuhi dengan perasaan keluh kesah, duka cita. Tapi apabila kita mengembalikan semuanya dan kita berasa tenang dengan Allah, dengan segala ketentuan Allah, sebab kita faham, sebab Allah sendiri cakap wala nabluwannakum bisyai', semua kamu akan diuji. Kita tahu bahawa kita akan diuji. Bahkan Allah kata ahasiban nas ayyaqulu amanna billah wal yaumil akhir wa hum la yuftanun. Apakah manusia ini menyangka mereka ini boleh senang saja cakap aku beriman dengan Allah dan hari akhirat, wa hum la yuftanun, mereka ini tidak diuji langsung, tidak diberi kesusahan, kesenangan. Ketahuilah bahawa kesenangan itu ujian juga. Tapi Allah cakap la in syakartum la azidannakum, sekiranya kamu bersyukur Allah akan tambah. La in kafartum inna azabi lasyadid, sekiranya kamu kufur, kamu tak berhati, kamu tidak mau terima, sebenarnya azabul lasyadid, sungguh-sungguh berat. So dengan ada keimanan dan panduan kehidupan kita ini, reference kita tadi, sepatutnya dia mengatur hidup kita dan kita tergurung dalam orang-orang apa tadi yang saya sebut tadi, wala khaufun alaihim wala hum yahzanun. Tak ada perasaan takut pada kita dengan apa yang berlaku. Walaupun dan kita tidak yahzanun, kita tak berasa duka cita, kita always tenang. Bila kita dapat ketenangan itu, so body kita pun di segi biologically dia akan secret hormon-hormon yang positif dan dia membantu untuk wellness kita. So sebelum saya, I think almost time. Betul kan? Okey, sebelum saya akhir ucapan yang pendek ini, saya harap dia banyak-banyak really give you some input that we can bermanfaat kepada diri saya sendiri. Oh, ada 5 minit lagi. Okay. What I'm going to say, yang paling penting juga what Quran says about orang-orang yang bagus ini. Yastami'una qawla wa yattabi'una hasanah. Jadilah golongan ini, iaitu golongan yang mendengar perkataan, kan orang cakap ni banyak, wa yattabi'una hasanah, dan mereka mengikut yang baik-baik. Okay, before I end up my speech today, I want to highlight one of the differences between us and sahabat Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Ada banyaklah kita ni dengan sahabat ni macam langit dan bumi lah, definitely. Tetapi what I need to say, apa bezanya sebenarnya salah satu untuk kita ambil iktibar. You tengok Sayyidina Bilal rahimahullah alaih radhiyallahu anhu. Sayyidina Bilal ya, apabila dia tahu Allah qul huwallahu ahad, dia terus aman. Ahad. Orang seksa dia ke, kan, apa saja umat dia terus buat. Kita tengok Sayyidina Umar Al-Khattab, seorang yang bengis, garang, dan dia nak bunuh Rasulullah. Orang halang dia, kata sebelum kau bunuh Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, kau pergi. Dia tak cakap sallallahu alaihi wasallam masa tu kan, dia kata sebelum kau bunuh Muhammad ni, kau pergi tengok adik kau, settlekan adik kau ni ikut dia. Apabila dia sampai di rumah adik dia dengar adik dia sedang membaca Quran. Toha ma anzalna alaikal qur'ana litaskun litazkiratan liman yakhsha, ila ayat 5 tadi. Toha ma anzalna alaikal qur'ana litaskun, tidaklah kami turunkan Al-Quran ini kepada engkau litaskun, nak buat kecelakaan. Inna tazkiratan liman yakhsha, melainkan tazkirah peringatan orang yang takut dengan Allah. Sayyidina Umar Al-Khattab, orang tu dia tak Islam lagi. Dia dengar ayat ni, satu ayat ni, maksudnya beberapa ayat dari surah Toha ni, terus bergetar hati dia dan berubah 100%. Saya bawa 2 contoh ini cukup. Now kita bandingkan lagi kita. How many of us yang baru sekali dengan ceramah Quran ataupun peringatan atau kata-kata nasihat? I believe no, bukan. Kalau umur yang macam I ni, minat lah dalam agama, semenjak form 1 dah pergi sekolah pondok, dah pergi I think beribu-ribu kali, betul tak? Termasuk hari ni kita mendengar space pun berbunyi agama ni. I think all of you duduk kat UI ni lagi lah kot, banyak tazkirah sana, tazkirah sini. Kiralah berapa kali, berapa ratus kali, berapa ribu kali telah kita mendengar peringatan. Kalaulah setiap kali daripada peringatan ini kita ambil satu saja. Contohnya Allah kata dalam Quran, wa quli linnasi husna. Hendaklah kamu bercakap dengan manusia ini dengan perkataan yang baik. Kita dengar satu dan terus kita amal, tak ada dah cakap cuma mengumpat orang, mengatur orang, mempelekehkan orang, kita tak buat. Terus kita cuma amalkan. Satu saja dalam satu ceramah. The next ceramah lagi kita dengar lagi yang lain. Kita ubah lagi. Agaknya kita ni dah jadi orang Islam baik ke tak? Kalau 1000, ada 1000 perangai baik yang sepatutnya kita telah ada. Tak payahlah, daripada 1000 kita ambil 10% berapa? 10% out of 1,000. 100 betul kan? Ada 100 perangai baik kita ada sepatutnya. So inilah di antara, kalau kita tengok perbezaan kita dengan sahabat-sahabat Rasulullah SAW sangat ketara. Kita dengar banyak, tapi kita kurang. Daripada hari ini, kalau boleh saya menyeru diri saya dan anak-anak sekalian untuk kita berazam, kita mendengar sesuatu yang baik, yastami'una qawla wa yattabi'una hasana. Kita dengar perkataan-perkataan ini dan kita urut yang baik. InsyaAllah bila you keluar daripada UIA, you akan menjadi orang yang baik. Apabila kita baik, apa lagi nikmat di dunia? Welness. Kan? Betul tak kan? Sebenarnya kan ada orang-orang kita kalau menafsirkan apa ni, lupa ayat Quran tu kan, taruhum kamu melihat fi wujuhihim, kan, daripada wajah-wajah mereka itu kan, min asaris sujud. Dalam Quran betul tak? Surah Muhammad, surah Muhammad ayat yang akhir kan, kamu lihat pada muka itu min asari sujud. Kita kadang-kadang kita tengok siapa yang dahinya hitam, betul tak? Oh, kita kata min asari sujud. Tapi saya melihat bahawa min asari sujud ni, kita perasan tak orang yang baik-baik ini, kita tengok hati kita tenang, betul tak? Kita tengokkan daripada wajah dia timbul ketenangan hati. Kalau kita ada masalah, kita pergi jumpa dia. Dan tengok dia pun cukup. Dan inilah di antara yang dikatakan min asari sujud. Eksperimen Profesor John Barr tadi, betul tak? Orang tengok, nampak muka, dia terus, because all the evaluator tak tahu apa sebenarnya. Lepas tu barulah dia come out dengan teori dia, hipotesis dia. So, then dia classify these two group. There is only 1 month, 30 days of practicing bad things and good things. You just imagine kalau kita dah have been practicing, tambahan pula dengan hati yang sangat ikhlas. Kita buat sungguh-sungguh because kita takutkan Allah. Kita my last word ialah kita kena ingat. Okay, anak give simple example. Ada masa lagi kan? About anxiety ni, ada sikit je. Kalau, sebab saya pun macam you all juga dulu pernah masuk, saya ada orang kampung itu, sangat kampung, masuk universiti. Bila kita masuk universiti, kita pun tak pernah tahu macam masuk UIA ni kan, you masuk UIA ni, tak tahu kan, kat mana sini dia panggil apa? Kat KM, UKM dia panggil Kamsis kan, kat sini dia panggil apa? Rumah-rumah tu yang mahal, cakap Arab. Saya pun dah lupa mahallah kan, tempat masuk dia kan. So then you were given the mahallah, dan you tak tahu mana faculty you, kat mana you nak pergi, pendaftaran nak pergi, apa kita rasa? Anxiety kan? Kita ada rasa anxiety, ada rasa kebimbangan, especially orang daripada kampung. Kalau dia bandar tu mungkin dia kurang sikit lah sebab dia dah biasa. So we need the guidance. Kan universiti akan bagi you, okay, ini tempat you nak duduk, ini tempat lecture you, kuliah you. Meaning to say, one of the most important thing adalah kita tahu tujuan kita datang ke satu tempat itu dan kita mendapat guidance. Ini di antara perkara yang penting yang kita ada dalam hidup kita. Kalau kita tak tahu kenapa kita hidup, tujuan hidup, dari mana kita datang dan ke mana kita nak pergi, dan apa pengakhirannya, ini antara perkara lain yang menyebabkan anxiety kita tidak akan terubah. So that is another lecture. Kalau nak dipanjangkan, I don't have any time that I put this question again. So it's all about the first example that I gave to you, kan, just now, iaitu reference ataupun citation. So we must have a good reference, good citation to know exactly why you are coming here, and more broadly, why we are coming to the earth. And I pose you a question that Allah give to us. Afahasibtum annama khalaqnakum abasa. Apakah kamu mengira bahawa kami menciptakan kamu abasa? Suka-suka je, sesaja. Wa annakum ilaina la turja'un, dan kamu kepada kami tidak akan dikembalikan. Allah menjawabnya sendiri dalam Quran, tapi saya tak nak jawab kat sini. Kan, kita jawab sama-sama. Sebagai anak-anak sekalian, kan, I know some of you know already the answer. Kan, tapi supaya kita to trigger ourselves to always go back to our references and guidance, so that we use all this as our citation to guide our life, so that we will always be in the good wellness all the time, insyaAllah. Because orang yang sakit sekalipun, what I mean to say, walaupun Allah menguji kita dengan kesakitan, tetapi kita ada satu kesempatan waktu yang amat bertuah, iaitu kita masih hidup. Dan apabila kita masih hidup, kita boleh melafazkan our repents, our taubat, our kesalahan, mengadu kepada Allah dan minta selalu. Don't forget about it. And whatever condition, itulah satu pemberian yang terbesar selepas hidayah, iaitu waktu. Wal asr innal insana lafi khusr. Do you know that orang yang sampai yang kerongkongan, taubat tidak berfaedah, ucapan subhanallah tak berfaedah, ucapan Allahu Akbar tak berfaedah, semuanya dah tak ada faedah. Dan sebahagian pada mereka cakap Rabbana absorna wa sami'na farji'na na'mal solihah. Ya Allah, kami dah dengar dah, kami dah lihat dah. Dia kata farji'na na'mal solihah, maka kembalikanlah kami di muka bumi. Na'mal solihah, sungguh-sungguh kami akan beramal soleh. Jawapannya tidak ada. Dan janganlah kita termasuk dengan orang yang macam ni. Quran already mention it. Dan kita tahu semua guidance ni kalau kita go through the Quran, ya Allah bagi hudan ini. Jadi, dan kita cuba amalkan. Kita cuba dah samakan diri kita dengan sahabat Rasulullah SAW, walaupun tak banyak kan, sikit pun tak boleh, iaitu kita dengar dan kita amal. Aqulu qali hadza astaghfirullahalazim li wa lakum. Saya mohon maaf kalau ada silap salah yang saya cakap during my sharing to you. It's not teaching. So hopefully it memberi manfaat pada saya dan pada semua. Mohon maaf. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, Alhamdulillah, I think we have about half an hour, Dr. Makno doing the sharing with us. I summarize a bit what we have. You were mentioning about how the importance of having a good deen, iman, and how we are relating our relationship with Allah with the guidance uh, referring to the Quran and Sunnah. So the way to actually obtain the wellness is actually started off with our heart. Okay, our behavior, our intentions, and it also got to do with our amalan. Things we are listening, we have to choose whether we want to be listening and doing things in a positive manner and or in the negative manner. So of course the best example is our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So hopefully inshallah the sharing will be is a kind of a reminder because we have like you were mentioning about we have to keep on reminding ourselves every day, every second with the purpose of being here in our ni lah kan dunia kan. So when Allah created us is always with purpose and it is towards being a good caliph. The good caliph is to show and to ensure that our wellness is obtained in such that with the guidance from Allah. And of course we refer to our Quran and Sunnah lah. Sebab Rasulullah dah macam dah banyak kali pesan tapi being the servants of Allah ni we are very forgetful. Selalu forget. So whenever we are being given a test from Allah, we have to keep reminding ourselves that the test will always with good purpose from Allah. It's always as a reminder whereby macam myself, I have recovered 7 stroke and 1 coma. So I gone through within 2.5 years, 7 repeated stroke and paralysis and a coma. So things that happened in my coma but I remember. So that's why we have to take care our relationship with Allah. Being a Muslim lah kan, being Muslim, and we hope our non-Muslim brothers and sisters will also be guided by Allah in terms of caring for their wellness. Okay, and inshallah we hope all the short sharing lah nanti insyaAllah lah Dr. Makno kita we will invite you again insyaAllah for continuing punya input and hopefully I would like to pose whether any of our audience which is on the online platform or even the audience in the lecture theatre would like to ask any questions, 1 or 2 questions. You can post your questions in the chat as well. Because Dr. Makno, he has to go off to maintain. He has a few tasks to do, and we are encouraging you to ask 1 or 2 questions. So from any of the audience. So anyone and from the lecture theatre, anyone? Would you like to ask anything? Any questions? So from the online platform, brothers and sisters, do you have any questions to Dr. Makno? He has shared us, I think, a few scientific evidence as well. Within half an hour kan, banyak lagi boleh sharing lagi kan Dr. Makno. A lot of scientific evidence which is supporting towards what it is in Quran as well as in Hadith kan. So kalau tak ada any questions, Alhamdulillah. So MC lah Kak. MC would like to know. I pass back to the MC because we have a token of appreciation. Alhamdulillah. So now we are going to the next speaker. So our Madam Puan Emiliawati Zainul. So Puan Emilia, okay, this is her biodata. Okay, she did her master degree in media communication, and her bachelor degree is also in mass communication and journalism in UiTM, and she has a professional diploma in human resource management. Her working background, she is the founder and managing director of Q3 Management Solutions in Durian Berhad, provide business and management solution. And I think she has obtained a few awards. Human Resource Leader of the Year in the Malaysia HR Awards back in 2015. And she also got Human Resource Achievers Award in 2017. Woman Super Achiever Award, okay, in the 7th World Women Leadership Congress and Awards in February 2020. And she also our Malaysia winner of the United Nations Women 2020 Asia Pacific Women's Empowerment Principles Award, Leadership Commitment category in December 2020. Alhamdulillah. She has a very skillful and talented awards that she has received for the Malaysia as well as the international. So on her certification, you can see down there she is a certified personal image consultant, a certified human resource manager, a certified customer service manager, HRDF certified trainer, customer service certified trainer for Malaysia Tourism, Empretex training of trainers for participants with low literacy by United on Trade and Development, and a certified women empowerment coach. So without further ado, kita nak invite lah Puan Emilia. Okay, I came to know her. Okay, in active citizenship program. So Alhamdulillah, so I have invited her to join and do her part of sharing. And so you are on the next session for Emilia.
Terima kasih. Assalamualaikum. Okay.
I'm watching you at the big screen. We have our LCD projector.
Okay. Any question first, or should I go through the presentation? Should I start now?
Baru dengar.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me? Yes. Can you hear me? Okay.
A bit soft.
A bit soft.
Kena louder.
Kena louder so kita kena cakap kuat.
Saja je pagi-pagi.
Yalah, dia saja nak tu. Okay, is there any question for me first, or should I actually start my presentation?
Okay. I tanya questions kat you dulu
Bukan saya tanya dulu soalan.
Okay, ada 3 questions that we have for you. What is the challenge to maintain your personal fitness routine? Okay. Is it needed to have a personal trainer to guide us for our diet and exercise? And the third one is how to create a personal fitness plan. Siap, dia nak minta plan lagi for our daily life?
Alright. Good question. I think I will answer that question towards the end of the presentation, Doctor. First of all, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you for the Faculty of Applied Arts and Design and Assistant Professor Dr. Nuzalifa for the invitation. So I will share some of my journey to the rest of you. So just give me some. Can you see my? Can you see my slide? Yes. All right. First of all, thank you for the invitation. A very great morning to start by listening to the previous speaker. So today I would like to share my personal journey in my wellness personal journey. And I always believe wellness is about when you are at your personal best. It's not at your personal best, it's yours. You know, each single of us have our own challenges in life. We have our own vision or goals that we want to achieve in life. And I would like to share a little bit about my story. And if you can see this about me, you can see the profile that has been shown on the screen just now, how doctor elaborate one by one. And it seems like everything so smooth, is so well to me. And just to share with you, every single thing up there is not coming like simple, like a blink of eyes. Yeah? We need to actually to work to achieve that. I need to actually really work and achieve that. And of course, to achieve what I really want, in my as my personal goal and all that, I need to really work well and also to make sure that the wellness is up to the date. If you see here, I won't talk much about myself because a doctor have done that. But before I even embarked into entrepreneurship, I was in corporate for 23 years. So I've been working for many years. And the photo that you see, that is me and my brother when I think we about 8 years old. I think I about 8 years old, is about 9 or maybe 7, something like that. And that photo that I like, the one that I shared to you, that is the last photo that we took before our parents divorced. Yeah, and then since then I do not know what happened. I do not have any photos. I do not have any memory about things that happened around me. So today I will start this morning to share about my take when I talk about managing emotion within me. Yeah, when my parents divorced, when our parents divorced, everything seems, everything seems blurred to me personally, because I'm still small. I'm about 7 years old. I do not know what to do. And here my mother actually brought me back to the hometown that I never seen, not even socialized before. That's when, as a 7 years old, 8 years old kids, I'm totally lost. I do not know what happened. I do not have support from the family members. I do not know them. And for the entire primary school, I become, I become silent. I do not talk, because every single thing actually come to me, it seems like I'm in the twilight zone, right? However, throughout that whole experience, I think with all these, with all the challenges that I have, and of course, kita kecil, right? And then my mother remarried, and with the stepfather, along the way, and when we call about step, it's not that always beautiful. So one day, I remember, I think it's about 8 years old or 9 years old, actually, I ran away from home. We all the swollen on my face and all that. So I actually, I think one of my uncle actually come and try to actually look for me, because I ran away from home. We all got the bruises, and the moment he saw me and he said this, because he cried looking at me with all this swollen on my face and all that, and he told me, you cannot run away. You must live. You must survive. If you do not survive, you cannot show to the people that who you are. So that moment, it struck me that, I'm going to die. I'm going to die, but not today. I'm going to die, but not today. So what happened is actually I start to come back, and every single moment in my life, I start to do self-journaling. Self-journaling, I wrote everything, the what you call it, the difficulty that I have, and actually what I think that the possible solution for that. But I do not keep it at home, because at home, if let's say my mother or the other family member found that book, I definitely die lah, kena pukul, right? So I actually every time I wrote it, and actually I tanam dekat somewhere in tempat bakar sampah. And that is what I do every day, to do the self-journaling, to see, okay, what is my progress, how can I achieve, what can I do better, to look into that. But as I actually grow into to slightly older, right, I start to actually participate in the school activities, participate in the we call it community work, because I do not want actually to occupy my brain or my mind with all these negative things. Because at home is so negative, right? The surrounding is so negative for me, and I remember my late uncle, my late uncle told me, if I do not hold to what I believe, what I want to be, I might end up somewhere. And I don't want to be. If I leave home, I might not be where I am. I might actually mix with all these wrong people. So I do not want that. So I said, I must leave. But I must leave. But I must go on. And also, I always believe that if I can face these challenges, I can face more challenges moving forward. So I think few days after actually, I met with my uncle, my late uncle, and I came back home, and I went to school. And I started to actually have some idea. I said, is because it's so difficult to get financial support, because I do not have financial support. After the divorce, there is no financial support, so it's very difficult for me to go to school. And at the age of 9 and 10, I decided to start working. So what I did is, after I came back from school, actually I will go and find the job. That's where I work in warung, I work in factory, I work in factory of baking biscuit, I work in factory that bake, sew the bag sekolah, the school bag and all that. So when I get the achievement to have, to be able to earn at the young age, at 9, 10, it actually struck me, because I said, hey, I can self-fund it myself. I can do self-earning. Of course, it's not much, but I know that I can do well. If I can earn, if I actually can control the way that I spend, if I can see how things, if I can control my journey, I can do wonders. So since then, I think since the age of I work at very early age until now, right? I always believe that if you want something, you have to actually go towards it. So in fact, I still do working and study, at the same time. So I would go to school at 7 o'clock, 6:30 o'clock in the morning, come back from school, and I just change my clothes in the working area, and I start to work until maybe 7, 8 at night every single day. Then I think, in fact, a month before SPM, I did not go to MRSM. I choose not to go to. If I go to MRSM, it means I don't have ability to actually work and assist my family, my mother. My mother is single mother by then. So I decided to actually work. And even though a month before my SPM, I still work to find that 138 ringgit to pay for my SPM fees, and that's how it actually goes. So I left school after SPM. So I actually studied stop until SPM. I think the last day after my SPM, I really know that actually I'm not going to university, even though I get good grade, because it's so difficult back then to actually to come, to get. I can get scholarship, it's okay, but it's only me. But I still have other siblings to take care of. So the decision must be made. If let's say you have this wellness within you, if you understand what is wellness mean. Wellness mean when you can think clearly, when you know what you want in life. So I said, okay, never mind, I just go and work, and I will come back and study, because education, when we talk about education, is all about long life learning. Long life learning, you can always achieve what you want to achieve. Remember, I still have the journal, right? The journal that I wrote, that what I want to do, when I want to do it. So that's how actually it works for me. So I start working after SPM. A day after SPM, I actually just took the bus. I packed my bag, I clean up the things at home, because I knew that I'm not going to come back to my home anymore. So I clean up everything. I take the first bus, I come to KL and actually stay with my auntie for I think about 2-3 months. And after that, I move out, and actually that's the start of my journey. So a few years later, I think about 5-6 years later, while all my batchmates start to completing their studies in university, that's when I have ability to, because I'm saving, I start working with 500 ringgit salary. So actually I sent home about 300, so I just left about 150 to maintain my day life in here in Kuala Lumpur, in Kuala Lumpur, right? 5 years or 4 or 5 years later, then I have a little bit ability to actually to start studies. I still remember what I actually wrote in my journal. So I said, okay, let's go and find what can I do next. Then I enroll myself in UiTM, because UiTM at that time they have PLK study, right? Initially, I would like to be a lawyer. I love to be a lawyer. I want to be a lawyer, but because of the gap that I actually see, if I want to be a lawyer, when I actually go to university again, I need to do my chambering, so I don't have time, because the age, once I actually start, to go back to university, the age actually capture me, right? So I say, okay, never mind. Find the studies, the subject that really can actually can expand my horizon. Where can I go, right? So I can see media communication or PR or something like that actually will help me. So that's when actually I enroll myself in the UiTM and learn this media communication mass comm at that point in time. So what I did is actually I will go to class after work. After work, after 6 o'clock, I will actually, just go drive to YTM and start in the class for the next like 2-3 hours every day, single days and all that. And then I get my first degree. Or just to, in between that, because it's about 4 years, 4+ years, right? I have, I think if you can see in the photo, my first degree. When I have my first degree, I just finished my, I think I just completed my confinement for my second baby. Actually, I have my second baby during that time. So I completed, I think, my degree when I still have my second kid. And I actually come back and still working in corporate. And a few years later, I come back into my master's, because I believe that when we open our mind, when I open our mind to new ideas in terms of learning, believe that long life learning is the way to go. Doesn't matter, right? I always believe that we will upgrade ourselves to another step. Right? But when we talk about education, when we talk about learning, it's not about actually go to university. It's not about only go to university and get some certification and all that. It's about what we want to do. So if you see part of the learning process for me, I love to travel. So I travel around the world. I come back. I even actually work in Dubai. That's how actually it works. The things work for me. Another thing that I believe that if I want to learn or if I actually learn is to acquire more knowledge along the way. If you see, I have several professional certificates. There's a reason why I do have a professional certificate along the way. When I work in corporate, for example, I always want to actually learn something new. Work is okay for me. I can do my work well, but I still always craving for something new. So I always take the professional certificate, things that I think will actually give me more knowledge. Give me more knowledge because I'm lazy. I am a lazy person. I'm not a reading person. I'm not really good in reading. But by acquiring a certificate or actually, coming back to study is actually forced me to read. So that's what I do. Every single thing that I learn in life, I always believe that I need to share. Like I need to share to people. That's what I am doing today. So whatever that I learn, I will share back to people because with sharing, learn and share. So even you have to learn and apply in your own personal life and also share with people. That's how the the wellness of the intellectual wellness will work. We cannot just go to university, then after that we sit back. Yeah, I can see a lot of people now after you leave university, you start working, just go and then you put the books aside by thinking, okay, I already have my degree, that's all. This will save me for the next, let's say, 20 years, 20, 30 years that, I'm going to live in this world. Inshallah, if let's say Allah give us that ability, that opportunity to live that long. But we always do not see that learning is always continuing. Yeah, learning is only continuing. And then come back into hobby. I also feel that in order for us to stimulate the intellectual, wellness, you have to find something to do. So if you see that, I actually put down the handbags and the shoes and all that. And you must wonder why actually I show you this. That is my hobby. So one another hobby that I actually acquired along the way is to clean my own handbag and shoes. I have, tons of shoes. It's not because I rich and I bought all those shoes. Some of the shoes is as I think is older than my first kid. Yeah, my eldest daughter is 22 years old. So I think one of the shoes that I still keep is the hantaran, kasut hantaran. I think it's about 24 years of age. I still have that, and actually it's a very good condition to be wear until today. The question is either I will still want to actually to wear that heel or not. Okay, by doing my own my cleaning of my handbags and all that, I put that in the dry air, I clean it because it's all leather and all that. Every single time that actually I did that, my mind started to think, okay, what can I do better to keep this leather, in good quality, or to keep this, these shoes in the good shape? What can I do? So it's time for me to reflect what I have done, because doing this is your hobby, right? So this is my hobby, so I start to reflect. So I do have my reflection time every time I do that. And I consider that when you have ample time actually away from your handphone, away from TV or whatever actually distract you, and by doing that, you personally, for me, I actually do my reflection. What have I done? What can I do better? What can I share more to people? So that's what I keep thinking when every time I do cleaning of my shoes and handbag. Of course, I'm going to lelong lah sebab tak pakai lama-lama. And currently, because I have done almost everything, so currently, I think last year, because of the COVID pandemic, we all stuck at home, and I stuck at home, and I could not stand still. By looking at me, I cannot stand still. I'm always curious to want to know what other thing that I can do, what other thing I can learn. So I enroll myself. No, I'm not enroll myself. Basically, I and another friends actually founded a Toastmaster club for Muslim women only online. So we did that, and I think the reason why, or the objective why we founded this, because we like to assist others, or even to ourselves, myself, to learn how to actually speak well, how to share well, and to talk to people, how we can inspire people, and so on. So it's always for me, it's always movement. There's always things that I always want to learn. I want to acquire something, because remember my first tagline, yes, I'm going to die, but not today. So I'm not going to die today, so I'm going to live until when I need to live. But before I actually die, I will always make sure that I have something to do. Having said that, we talk about wellness, we talk about we talk about mindset, we talk about intellectual wellness, we talk about physical things. That very important for me is how to get into that habit, because the final word when we talk about wellness is all about consistency. How consistent we can stick through the vision that we have, how consistent you can really focus on your education, if that what you want, or maybe education or degree is not something that you really love to do or want, but because everyone's have a degree, I have to have a degree. So always ask ourselves what we actually want. Of course, maybe degree is one of the way that actually we can acquire, that certificate, that piece of paper, and of course, job. But one of the proof that say that can be success without the education. But education do give me some value in life, do give me some knowledge, to support the things that, to be able to have this good critical thinking. But without passion, without drive to live, education is mean nothing. So how to get into habit? I'm going to talk a little bit on the physical. How actually I keep this physical going on. I've been working since 10 years old. Working, study. Never said that you have to do all the household, because back then, if you girls, you do everything, the boss gets it, right? And so how can I have that momentum? How can I maintain that drive in me? Right? I always, number one, of course, when I little bit smaller, food is always problem for us. To get rice on the table, you are blessed. You are blessed enough. With condition of my family, we do not have any support. Basically, we never take zakat. I never take scholarship, so I pay all my education fees, myself. So when I graduate from university, I have zero loan, so I don't have to own anyone to pay back. So that's another story. But the food choices, I attended this one lady called Jessie, if I'm not mistaken, this lady, the photo that you see. She been talking about psychology of food. She said, you are what you eat, or you eat what you are. Looking at the trend now, we just eat everything. You are what you eat. Malaysia have very good food. The question are we really eat to live, or we live to eat? That is the question that she asked. And I also always think that, kenapa kat sini semua orang suka makan? I also love to eat, But the commitment that we have to ensure that our wellness up to the par, if let's say we have so many things to juggle, I have to juggle between, when I smoke, between my study and also my job, right? Oh, by the way, I graduate with Dean's List, right? But when I work, I have to actually, when I start work, I already working, I have to actually manage my family. I have children, 3 children. I have to manage, my work. To climb that corporate ladder, and I also have to manage the studies. So in order to have that full wellness, you have to have full commitment. So commit to eat well. I always believe that what Rasulullah said, makan bila lapar dan berhenti sebelum kenyang. Right? Doesn't matter if the food come with the, satu plate besar, But if you know that you only can eat actually not more than half, share. Get someone to share or tapao half. Because I used to tapao food, so I'm okay. I think when I first start working in Kuala Lumpur, I had to send 300 ringgit home and have another 150 ringgit. So last time food dekat pasar malam very cheap, about 1 ringgit, right? So what I did, I bought in the evening pasar malam and then cut half, keep half for the next day and then eat half. So I used to have this eating habit that actually consistent. I always take my breakfast. I try not to skip the lunch. So I actually eat every single meals, but I maintain at the what you call it, not at a small quantity. I cannot say small. I say just enough quantity for me to not to feel hungry. So that's what I do. That's what I do. And then talking about health, people talk about exercise. You go exercise. I am the laziest person when it comes to exercise. I tell you that. Why? Because it's hard. It's hard to exercise, right? Lagipun kalau kita muda, badan kita slim kan, slim macam mana nak exercise, right? But I remember the journal that I have. If you cannot do it alone, you get others to work for you. So when I was in corporate, there's some of the photos back then, I want to actually go and to enjoy this run, the gym, what, right? But I cannot do it alone. So what I do, I make sure that every single one in my company, because I'm a HR by the way, to actually join. So I start to organize the run, I start to participate in the runs and get everyone to join in and, make that a habit of actually, okay, we go in this together. So we have created gym, I created gym in the company that I work with, and then we actually get everyone to come in and we do some party in the gym. And if you can see that, I will actually go to to the cave, but I always make sure that I have friends to support me up. So if let's say you do not have friend who really can support you in terms of meeting your goals of wellness, get one, because we do not actually mix with only one singular friend. I have a lot of group of friends. I have a group of friends who actually that can share with me the intellectual, discussion. I also have a group of friends that actually support me in my wellness, for example. I also have another friend that we can go karaoke together. So it's okay to have another group. You cannot be forever and together the same group, because we need to actually expand our networking. Anyway, learn from still when I'm small, until now. So I always believe. And the first job that even though I get, and at the age of 9, just now, the first job that I get also actually through friend. When actually I show my face, my set face, one of my friends, I remember Jennifer, one of the Chinese friends, she asked me what is my problem. Okay, there's one thing that good about her. And I told her that I have financial, difficulty. And she asked me, you nak kerja ke? I say, of course, nak lah. Kita nak lah kan. But back then, it's not easy to get a job. So what she did, actually she said, okay, you come to my workplace later at 2 o'clock, then I will help you to introduce that auntie. That's how friend helped me during that time. Yeah. So I went to the auntie place, the factory, and I saw her. She's coming out, and she actually pull me in and bring me to that nyonya. And the nyonya actually scolded her in the Chinese lah kan, marah dia, why actually you bring the friends and all that. And after that she came and asked me, the nyonya, I said, you mau kerja ke? I said, no. You boleh kerja betul ke? I said, yeah. Okay, sini kerja, jangan main, jangan cakap, kerja. So that's how actually it started. The friendship that we have also sometimes need to be evaluated, right? Where this type of friend, is this friend asyik ajak kita pergi makan je ke, contoh, ataupun dia betul ajak kita pergi bersosial je ke. So that is where we actually know what type of friend that we can choose or we want to choose, right? I do that a lot. So talking about awareness, when we talk about physical, I always have this idea, because I'm very busy person. I want to do so many things at one time, but at the same time I want to have families, I want to succeed. I cannot actually stay in a corporate by sitting at the same position, not me, because if I do sit longer in the position, I feel itchy, gatal lah kan, and I cannot actually just work forever, because when I work, I want to actually create something. I want to create something for people. I want to create value for the society. So I always into this health and wellness. So any company that if you can see that some of the things that I actually done, I brought a bus in front of my office and get everyone test every single year. Yeah. So I always have this cancer talk and have diabetic talk. These things actually to create awareness on top of the activities that I conducted. So the good thing about this, because I myself I want to know more, because I want to learn more, and on top of all these, I also the certified first aider. So all these sign and symptom is something related to me. And one thing that I can share with you, what I do personally, I tak tahu orang lain, I'm going to share about personally. Since I think 20 over years ago, I started to do my medical checkup yearly. So I invest. Remember when I talk about financial wellness, or you invest, or you can invest in your study. There's so many things that you can actually invest in life. Of course, invest saving. But if I want to buy handbag, compare it. If I want to actually, spend that money to put on my medical checkup yearly, I will spend to this. Of course, when you're younger, you don't pay that much. But if you at my age, maybe the yearly test will cost about 3,000 over per year, because banyak sangat nak test dengan stress test and all that, right? And some company even give that to the employee if let's say you're working. So I always do my medical checkup every single year. Right, every single year I did my medical checkup. I make sure that actually I test all these basic thing. Not because I'm afraid to die, no, because I don't like to actually stay bedridden. If I can actually ensure that I have to avoid or actually to precaution, I will do that. So I don't want to actually pop up pill when I see. I rather actually take the major precaution before actually I get sickness. So for many years,
Ada 5 minutes.
many years, it's my slide, last slide anyway. Okay, for many years I've been doing that, and I always can say that I actually free from all this high blood pressure, diabetic. I do not have, even though at this age, almost like soon to be a 5 series, right? But somehow in 2015, I get the first, after my medical checkup, I received a first call, and the first time over 20 over years from the doctor, and told me that actually they found some irregular cell in my body. Now this is why I would like to actually share before with that minutes, right? With all this awareness that I have, with the medical checkup that I do, and I still detected that actually there's an irregular cell that actually will lead to cancer. This is a real story. I've been doing that for 20 over years, and still I get that. I'm shocked, but I feel blessed, because when they detect that through my medical checkup, they detect the irregular cell, not the cancer cell. So I about one step to actually to go to the cancer. When they actually detect from my yearly medical checkup, and actually when I went to the hospital, I think within 3 days to do my cone biopsy to remove that cell, that cell. When they actually detect only one, lepas tu bila dia datang balik, masa kita remove, dia become 3. That's how fast the cancer cell can spread. So I always believe, we need to actually understand that wellness is about us. We base what we want and what actually what can we do. So it's not about me. Now we are talking about you. You chart your own wellness journey. You set your own goals, you set your own awareness, and then come back, you manage your own health. So I think before even I end here, okay, you can see that's my family. That's my beautiful girls, again, a boy and also another girl, the smallest one, and then on the right side is my team. But to answer the question, I think doctor question is 5 minutes, right? 2-3 minutes, I think more. Right? To answer what Dr. Zalifah question just now, let me see the question. Okay, what is the challenge to maintain that personal routine? Is habit. If you can manage your habit, habit you mean consistency. If you can manage that, yeah, like I said, you manage get someone to support you. For example, you kena cari you punya ni lah partner in crime. Tak ada partner in crime, you cannot do. Number two, understand what is your fitness. Kat mana you ada. If you have tendency to go for high blood, high blood, janganlah makan garam. That's how it is. Don't wait until doctor ask you to pop pill and then kerja pagi-pagi ambil botol masuk pill. So this is not something that actually we look at. And did I do that personal trainer to guide or diet and exercise? Remember I showed you the slide where actually I attend Jessie talk speech. I always get the information from the right people. Google can help you but not all. Sometimes you do not even know what Mr. Google are, right? When tulis je kan. And how I create that personal fitness plan. I always have journal. What I want to do. I have consistent, I have schedule. In fact, during Ramadan, my friend and I actually come up with this book. I think it's actually Ramadan planner. My worst, my my worksheet chart. Since actually I'm from MWC, coaches. So we actually have all this. Actually, we actually share with people. It's free. If you not, I will bagi dekat. Doctor, can I give to you? You just print.
Boleh.
One of the energizer that I wrote inside here, I decide to be bold, to be changed, that I want to see the voice of impact, and most importantly, I want to be myself. I don't want it to be others. So my wellness journey is about me, what I want to achieve, and I'm going to die, but not today. With that, thank you very much. Doctors, over to you.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much, Puan Emilia. So we have seen the whole story of your life. Alhamdulillah, you had a good sharing with us. Are there any questions from the audience? One or two questions? Anyone? Nak tanya anything? Tak, Puan Emilia. It's not easy to get Puan Emilia. She's a very busy lady. So we are honored to have you. You managed to spend your time with us. So I think you have a difficult childhood, and we can see how consistent you have planned your way in terms of your education, working, supporting your mom. Masa time tu your mom was a single parent kan. So it's very, very tough, but I think with the blessing from Allah, then we can actually see how you pursue towards achieving a few awards and having a good lifestyle. So any sharing on the beauty tips? So sisters ni dia nak ni, dia bila stress tu macam mana? Masa tengah naik banyak cerawat ni, what are the kind of tips that you can give? You suruh jadi macam beauty care tips pula kan? So whenever we are stressed, it's affected, especially the ladies lah.
Okay, ada soalan lah.
One soalan, satu soalan from the chat. How do you balance between business, family and fitness?
Okay. If you see, if you see when I talk about balancing things, it's very difficult to balance because people always talk about work-life balance. You cannot balance sometimes, but you blend everything. You realize that I say, okay, bring your friend. Because you want to meet your friend, you don't have time. So I bring them into my world. When I want to work, I do not have much time for my family. I brought all my children to my workplace. So sometimes we need to make use what we have. I have to work, at the same time, I need to actually manage my family. That's how I actually blend the both sides. If you cannot help them, if let's say when I'm cooking, for example, I bring my children, I have them to actually assist me once in a while, so we can have the chat while we're doing that. But if, let's say you really do not have time. I do not have time because I have studies to do. Well, someone out there have children and do part-time study while working and fund themselves can do it. Why not you? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I think we will go to our next presenter. Thank you, Pak Emilia. So nanti we can have a session together, okay? Or we can invite you to come to UIA. Having a session face to face when we are permitted to do so lah. Actually, we have our two speakers are in UIA. And you both of you, I mean, dengan Encik Shazli online. So later on boleh have a further session with you and the speakers lah, the other speakers as well. So Alhamdulillah, without Shazli punya biodata boleh do the sharing on the screen. Okay, Encik Shazli dia berkenal dengan Encik Fakhruddin ni. So nanti I akan ada tag team lah. Okay, Encik Shazli, Alhamdulillah, I think he is our alumni from UIA. So he studied accountancy. Okay, he did his Bachelor of Accountancy in, I think, Kuliah of Economics, Encik Shazli. Okay, now the Chartered Accountant in MIA, Associate Member of Institute Internal Auditors, Malaysia. He teaches Aikido. I tak pandai sangat Japanese Encik Shazli. So I think together dengan Encik Fakhruddin juga. Okay, a martial art from Japan that emphasizes on total defense. So sekarang ni kalau we invited the expert for the defense ni, would love to see AAD students to be more physically active. Okay, insyaAllah. He is currently an industrial advisor at International Islamic College, a private college owned by IIUM. Okay. He is also the co-founder of Q3 Management Solutions together with Puan Emilia. Okay, accomplished professional within 19 years of external and internal audit and having a lot of management experiences. Okay, he has worked in the Middle East, okay, helping with the finance department. And in terms of contribution and expertise, he has contributed in the overall development of Sharia audit framework. Okay, and he also a panelist in ISRA MTA thematic workshop for Takaful Sharia audit. His knowledge and ability in setting up and managing several internal audit and risk. And I think without further ado, we pass the whole floor and the online platform floor to Encik Shazli. Thank you.
All right. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Doctor. Okay, I think Doctor have basically read through my resume and my CVs. So if anyone out there that wants to offer me a job, you can actually just go to what Doctor has said. Anyway, okay. First off, I would like to thank you to my fellow speakers. Of course, the Doctor, the moderator of this webinar, and to my fellow speakers, Sir Dr. Muhammad Nur Mahat, my business partner, Melati Zainul, and my long time friend, Fakhruddin. I didn't know that he was actually invited until actually Doctor sent me the list, and I saw the name. I said, I macam kenal nama ni. So, but we haven't met for quite a few years. Anyway, let me share my presentation. Hold on, window. Okay. Window. Okay. Now it's there. All right. I think it's okay. It's on. So basically, when I was invited, talking about wellness. Okay, of course, I think Emilia just shared about her wellness journey. Doctor actually had shared before that on the spiritual journey of wellness. So let me share how the wellness from an Aikido perspective. Okay. Oh, sorry. Hold on. All right. So that's me. You can see there. Just a bit. I think doctor have gone through much more than that. I'm a third dan Aikikai Aikido. Aikikai is basically kalau nak explain, it's like a mazhab lah. It's a form of Aikido school, right? And Aikikai Aikido is the original Aikido that actually came about by the founder, which is Morihei Ueshiba. But I'm not going to talk about Aikido so much. But what I'm going to actually just share with all of the audience now is basically how Aikido actually have somehow changed my life, right? Okay, when I first started, of course, when during secondary school, I did train in self-defense. I actually took up silat. First, it was silat gayung Fatani, and then after that, I actually went on to train under silat gayung Malaysia, right? The training is okay. There's nothing wrong with any of the self-defense. The training is good and whatnot. And I actually carried on when I actually joined Matrix UIE in PJ. That time I was in PJ in 1994. Right, in 1994, Matrix UIE. No, sorry, not in PJ, in Pantai Baru. If anyone of you guys know that. It is somewhere near IB near UM. So I joined Silat, but somehow I lost the attraction, the touch, and we were actually when I was in Matrix, we were my hostel. There were around 8 of us in the room. And half of the 8 actually started going to Aikido classes. So I was intrigued. I just want to know, okay, what is this class? It looks very, if you have seen the clips or in YouTube and whatnot, Aikido looks somehow like tak logic, throwing people around, things like that. But it's okay. Then I think after that, I think there's one day I actually went out to KL for outings and whatnot. I got into a fight, which I did not start. And I found out that I am not well equipped to defend myself. So I got back. I told my roommate, okay lah, let's give it a try. So I attended the first class, second class, and so on. And it has been 26 years since I actually went for Aikido classes. But after I graduated from UIA in 2000, I did not manage actually to get my black belt from UIA, and my Aikido class was in UIA. It was started by my senior, which is Zainuddin Khalid. Currently, I think the classes in main camp is still there, but since the MCO, I think it has been stopped. It is being managed by my former students. I can show you the picture after this, and he is actually there in the picture. So I started in 2000. I graduated in 2000. I did not manage to get my first dan or the first black belt. And then after graduating, I did not know where to go. I of course focus on working and whatnot. No time to go for classes. But in 2002, I actually met a friend, a long time Aikido friend of mine. Then he just said, "Come over lah to my class." Okay, let's give it a try. So in 2003, I actually went for my my second black belt grading, and I passed. and then 2006, and after I actually got my first dan black belt, I started teaching, right? And then and continue on after that until I actually received my third dan in 2019. That's a huge gap, because for me, dan is one thing, but the ability to actually apply what you have learned and what you are teaching is much more important. Okay, that's a bit on Aikido. But what actually Aikido has given me, I'm sure. Okay, this is what I can basically briefly see. Aikido actually have given me humility, compassion, discipline, clarity of mind, fitness and stamina, of course, decisiveness, courage, and strength. Right? Let me share a story of when I was studying in UIA. You know, of course, I'm sure doctor pun sometimes you do have some certain presentation to be given to your student, right? They actually have to go up front, actually present their design, they present their something that they have asked them to do. When I was, of course, in UIA, we were asked that as well. So most of the time bila duduk ke depan, one thing about me, I am afraid standing in front of people. Everything started shaking. Dia rasa nak tonggak apa nak tombang je bila duduk depan orang at that time. But when I started in my Aikido, and of course when you are actually at the senior level, you need to train your juniors. So when we started training, when you are standing in front, and that fear somehow eroded, especially when you are actually presenting something that you are passionate about. You tend to forget about your fear. No papers will be shaking in front of you, and then you are actually be able to converse much more freely. Okay, so basically that's the initial stage that I saw. Something different, something actually happened to me. Okay, so what I can share, I will just share pictures with you guys. I have some pictures of me in my Aikido classes and whatnot. Okay, one thing as shared in this sphere that I actually share. Okay, humility and compassion. Humility. When we talk about, and I think any self-defense as well, but especially because I'm in Aikido, I can share about Aikido per se. When we conduct our technique, when we actually train, we will train together with our students. Either you junior, you are senior, you just a beginner, you have trained for 20 over years, you will do the techniques together, and you will throw people around, and you will be thrown around. So there's no so-called kasta. There's no so-called seniority that say that, okay, since I'm a senior, I cannot train with a beginner or with a junior, because that does not happen in Aikido, because you are requested. And furthermore, you actually, if let's say you are a senior and you train with a beginner or a junior, you are actually building your ability to read people, because different people have different ways of doing things. I've had before a student which is actually a yoga enthusiast. It was very difficult to actually bring him down, to push him down, because the yoga, I think some key things that he has. The key is basically your internal energy. So your mind started to think, you become very critical, you try to find ways, and you actually embrace the training much more better. You embrace the arts much more better. And I just would like to share, I think, as Dr. mentioned, I know Fakruddin. Yeah, Fakruddin was my former student as well. I think he will confirm that later. And he was one of my best flipper, one of my best students that I can flip around lah. You can just throw him around and he will fall and actually get up without getting hurt. without getting hurt. And I think, but we haven't trained for quite a few years now. But to share that when you have that ability to mix around, you will be humble. Humbleness is very important, not only in Aikido, it actually will bring out in life. You will not look down on other people. For example, for me in Aikido, I would not look down to any other martial arts, because anything that is actually out there is beneficial based on the way you brought it. It's the way how you actually train it. That's the way that you actually will carry yourself and your arts together. So as you can see in the picture, that is my student that I throw around on the left, the picture on the left. He was a pilot. No, sorry, he is still a pilot with MS. He's a captain. He started his journey in Aikido, I think, when he was 45 years old. He got his black belt when he was 50 years old. Aikido, irrespective of age, gender, and strength. And you can see, on the picture on the right, you can see now it is his turn to throw me around, although I was actually carrying that class. And compassion. When you do techniques to your friends, your students, the end goal in mind is not to hurt that person. Even when someone attacks you in Aikido, your end goal is not to hurt the person back. You want to immobilize. As much as possible, you will try to avoid that person, the person that attacks you, from getting hurt. However, if need be, then you will become Steven Seagal lah. If you ever watch Steven Seagal's movie, you can see that it is like a very violent kind of martial art. However, it's not. It's actually a very Aikido means the way of harmony anyway. Okay, next. It will teach you discipline. If you notice, the picture on the right is actually, I think it's the main hall of the main camp in Gombak. I think so. I forgot. But we actually we held our seminar over there, Aikido. That time was in 2006. I took my second dan during that time. My fellow senseis, Sensei Haji Hanif came down from Sarawak, and my senior Sensei Zainuddin Khalid actually came down as well. But when talking about discipline, any martial arts will actually teach that. You ask any martial artist, they say, okay, they will teach you discipline. Okay, what does discipline means to me? What does discipline means in Aikido? In Aikido, when the instructor gave instruction on the front, or when the instructor asks you to stop and actually give additional instructions, you can see from the picture on the left top, everyone is actually sitting down on their knees and intently listen to the instruction. And you can see on the picture on the left where I think Mr. Fakruddin was actually attacking me with a punch, which is a ski. And the other students were actually sitting down and actually looking, observing, and listening to what the instructor is trying to convey, trying to actually sampaikan. Similarly with when we are actually studying. That's why when the lecturer or the teacher is talking in front, we at the back, we as a student needs to listen intently, because listening and observing is a way of learning. It's a way of training yourself, disciplining yourself. And if you can see the picture in the middle, where even during the warm-ups, the lines were straight, it is actually structured. That is how discipline. This is how you bring this out from the martial art world. When you are out there, when an elder is talking to you, stop, listen. When you are listening, and the lecturer is trying to tell you something or trying to teach you something, stop and listen. Because if you do not listen, listening is a skill in itself, and this is how you train your skills, right? Okay. Next. Okay. This I combine everything together: clarity of mind, fitness and stamina, courage and strength. This was a demonstration that was done in UAE again. I forgot the year. I think it's 2001, 2002. During their martial art weeks in UAE. I'm not sure whether there are still martial art weeks over there. It has been, although I'm just staying, my house is quite near to UAE. I'm just staying in Sentul. But it has been, I think, 5 years since I actually stepped my foot in UAE soil. So sorry about that. But I will try to come later on. Maybe I'll bring Emilia to actually present to the students face to face. Better is much more interesting. But anyway, the picture that I'm showing, if it's clear enough for you, the picture on the left top is actually I was lying down, on the bench of two people, and two of my students was actually standing on my stomach. Basically, this is to show how Aikido build your ki, your internal energy. Where when the internal energy is applied correctly, your body will be as flat as a plank, and it will not break. And the picture on the right shows that I'm not sure how many people there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think 6 people are trying to push me down while I was sitting on my knee, and one is actually trying to pull me from behind. What can be said with this picture? It's just basically that when you train in Aikido, especially when you train, your fitness and stamina level will be increased. In any martial art, in any fitness regime that you do, as long as it is done consistently, your fitness and stamina will grow, right? What I've learned before, I think after SPM, I actually entered Royal RMC, Royal Military College, for a course that is intent to send me to US for their military schools, military academy, but that did not happen. However, I still remember my sergeant actually trained us. He said that for fitness and stamina, your fitness and stamina will basically drop, or basically you will drop your fitness and stamina level that you have built if you stop doing it more than 3 days. Hence, means that it needs to be done consistently, not necessarily daily, but every 2 days, every 3 days, continuously train your fitness and stamina. But of course, while I was studying, my Aikido training is actually every day. Because dia dah passionate sangat, sonok sangat, so every day petang just call my friend, jom turun. Okay, turun. We train for 1 or 2 hours and then go back and study after that lah. But when you have that fitness and stamina, of course, when you are fit, and not to say fit kurus, fit maksudnya basically you are healthy. You would have your clarity of mind. Your studies would be good. You won't be simply put, you won't fall asleep in classes lah. I'm sure doktor ada masalah, ramai tidur kat dalam kelas. That's normal. But when you have that the clarity of mind, the absorption of information would be much more better. And then, of course, Aikido actually taught me to be courageous. I shared before when I was presenting to class, in front of my class, when my lecturer requested me to do so. Previously, I was so terrified, but after that, it was Alhamdulillah, although not that tiba-tiba berani je, but I could actually put away the fear. Although yang depan tu bukan tak kenal, kawan-kawan je, but the fear was still there. But after actually training and sharing my knowledge of Aikido to my fellow colleagues and whatnot, it has actually gone away, and it has actually one thing I can say, it actually assisted me during after my graduation as well. How I actually brought that same energy, same confidence when I actually attended interviews. I would say that out of 10 interviews I've attended throughout my career, I only failed two. I only failed two out of 10 interviews I've attended. Pergi interview, cakap, offered. Pergi interview, cakap, there's one or two that I actually failed lah. Not, I cannot say that it's 100%. However, that actually built your ability to actually convey yourself, your ability to speak your mind, your ability to critically think when being asked by your interviewer. Sometimes interviewer tanya soalan mengarut. So in your ability to actually craft the answer is how you will actually be able to secure the jobs. That's what happened. So courage and of course strength as well. Aikido, as mentioned, you do not use your own strength. You are actually using, when someone attacks you, you use the strength of the other people against themselves. This is very important. That's why you can see in Aikido there's lots of ladies actually join. I should have put one picture over there where I had a picture of actually Emilia pinning me down to the ground just by holding my arms to the ground. And she's small. I'm bigger than her, but I still cannot actually stand up due to that. It's about the techniques. It's about the way you actually use it. But of course, strength is very important as well, because you do not want to be passive. Sometimes you have to be active and reactive. So this four actually brought, and the picture actually shows you that. Okay, how many minutes do I still have left? Okay. Ada lagi. Okay, I think that I would have
Another 5 minutes.
another 5 minutes. Okay, thank you. All right. Okay, this is basically my last slide anyway. Okay, and another one is decisiveness. Okay, that's a picture of me throwing my student to the ground, and he's, I think, almost 50% heavier than me. No, more than 50% heavier than me. But throwing people to the ground is not as easy as it looks. Decisiveness plays a picture on it. You cannot be indecisive when doing such a move, because if you do, you will hurt your opponent. You will hurt your friend when you throw them around. You need to be decisive. Doing certain things because we were trained from the basic on how to fall on your back, how to roll, how to fall by rolling, how to fall from the side. And then when in my class, I would actually just start from the basic, how to lock people, how to attack, how to throw. It will be done on a progressive manner until you are actually master at it. So but once you are master at it, it's about training. Bruce Lee said, "I'm not afraid of a man that practiced 10,000 kicks. I'm more afraid of a man that practiced one kick 10,000 times." So it's about practice. Practice makes perfect. This quote has been going on for the past hundreds of years. Practice do make perfect. But of course, when you actually have that so-called perfection, Again, no one is perfect, but if let's say you have that so-called perfection, your decisiveness is very important, right? When making a judgment, when making a decision in work, in life, in studies, you need to be decisive. Kita jangan hopefully we do not dilly-dally and whatnot. Of course, there will always be there will always be the feeling of was-was, uncertainty. Betul ke kita buat ni? Are we actually taking the right step? Are we actually sending the right project paper? The right model to pass this exam and things like that. But again, practice makes perfect. You can actually reach that decisiveness level once you know that you are able to make your own decision yourself. So far, alhamdulillah, in life, I have to say I've made lots of mistakes. Of course, in our life, we have made lots of mistakes. We have made lots of wrong decisions. However, I have never regretted the decision that I took, because you have to be decisive. The reason, the options that you took might be wrong, but if you are not decisive, the wrong decision can be catastrophic to you. However, if you are decisive, when you see that the decision is not correct, you turn the ability to pivot and change to the right path is what actually makes you either successful or failure. Okay. So, and this is what actually we applied as well in Q3 Management Solution. We applied, we pivot many times, we have done so many things. We are a business and management solutions provider, but there are many things that we feel that we are able to actually assist our companies out there. So that's what we have been doing all this while. So that's basically about it. Arigato gozaimashita. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Encik Shazli. I did catch up a few tips that you have, how Aikido helps you to and changing your life, having a set of additional ability, like you were mentioning about being humility, compassionate, humbleness, discipline, the skill of listening instruction. That one, I think the lecturer would love to have students like that. Okay, observing, clarity of mind, fitness and stamina, courage, having the courage to talk in front of the public. I think the sets of you were mentioning how Aikido helps you and to be more confident, having dia macam tak ada differences kan, everybody is fair, there is no lower rank or higher rank. And you were mentioning taking care, of course we need to be healthy and fit, ability to state our views. I think it goes and it comes out with having to increase the you punya apa ni, confidence. So when you become more passionate in something, then you forgot the fear. I think Emilia pun mentioned about having a discipline kan. So that sets of skill, being able to make decision, decisiveness, okay. And you were mentioning it's nice to see how Aikido teach about how to fall, how to lock, how to attack and how to throw. Itu yang I managed to capture from your input tadi yang 30 minit So hopefully insyaAllah I think you can come to the UIA soil. You were mentioning 5 tahun tak datang kan.
Actually
Maybe I can propose to our dean lah.
Yeah, the Aikido classes
some kind of martial art fitness to assist our student as well as staff. Staff pun actually dah makin tak fit macam saya. Lagilah susah kan. I cannot imagine myself to be thrown by people, but I have a phobia. After I gone through the stroke and paralysis, I ada phobia. Even phobia nak naik bicycle pun I ada. So I have a certain set of phobia until now. So now what I did is like I walk a lot in the jungle. So I'm the jungle people. Sebab Gombak ada jungle kan. Okay, so I think thank you on that. Is there any questions from the audience? You can type in your chat so that our Encik Shazli boleh answer. Ada 1 or 2 questions from the audience. Anyone would like to ask anything? From lecture theatre tak ada. Semua tutup, film mask kan. Okay, kalau tak ada questions from the audience, then we will proceed with Encik Fakhruddin. Thank you very much Encik Shazli for your sharing.
Thank you, Doctor.
Okay, Encik Fakhruddin, I'm going to read your biodata.
Okay.
Just full CV. Okay, Alhamdulillah we have Encik Fakhruddin Muhammad. So macam myself and Major Kalam, we call him Dino. Okay, when we were doing our community, we came to know Encik Fakhruddin through our community project together. So we are in Bekas Selangor masa time tu. So we are active with the community engagement activities. So Encik Fakhruddin Muhammad is an instructor close quarters threat management. Okay, pernah jadi bodyguard, so in bodyguarding context. Okay, he is a certified instructor of Dakut Arnis system in the Philippines. Okay, instructor of and license for Silat Kalipur in Malaysia, Indonesian Silat. President of Arnis Malaysia, this is registered with ROS. Registered member under PECAF, which is Philippines Eskrima Kali Arnis Federation. Penat rasa. Okay, Aikido practitioner under IPGAI, certified close protection executive. So he can be our bodyguard if you want to hire bodyguard as well.
Why not?
Okay, expert in weapons as well. Neutralizing threats, control and usage of blunt and edged weapons. We are not encouraging you guys to use weapons, anyone, but we want to have a sharing whereby Encik Fakhruddin, he is a very active martial punya practitioner. So Filipino martial arts, we have Silat and Aikido. So without further ado, we pass to Encik Fakhruddin. Okay, the floor. Okay, thank you.
Hello. Okay, is the audio okay?
Yes, we are looking at
All right,
your
thank you.
face.
Okay. Okay, Assalamualaikum, and still good morning, I believe. Good morning to everyone. All right, thank you for having me here. Okay, just to reconfirm back on Sensei Shazli, I call him Sensei Shazli because he was one of my teachers in Aikido. Thank you for the nostalgic picture of me trying to attack you before I got thrown. In fact, in one session, in one class, the people who went for Aikido classes, mostly we get thrown like 50 times, 60 times per session. And that builds up our bodies, make us strong and resilient. So that's a simple idea that was put into our heads when we do Aikido training. Fall 8 times, get up 9 times. So it means that if you fall from something, if you fail at something, just get up and try again, right? So those are the values that are given in martial arts training, right? Let's start. I'm given the task of covering physical holistic wellness, but most of the points have been covered, but I'll just go through simple slides. Right. So Assalamualaikum again and good morning. Thank you everyone for being here, the organizers, tuan-tuan, puan-puan, doctors. Right. My session will be a laid-back session because explaining about physical activities, you actually need to do the physical activities instead of listening through and looking through videos, right? So physical activity should be fun, number one. It shouldn't feel like doing hard labor or algebra because that's why people do not go exercise. If do you agree on that? Right. Now, my name is Fakhruddin Muhammad. I'm a martial artist. Right. I have a few background in a few different martial arts, local, Indonesian, Filipino, and Japanese arts. Okay. Japanese arts being Aikido. Right. I use it to provide techniques and methodologies for close quarters threat management, training for close protection officers, or better known as bodyguards, right, for a local company. Right. Okay. We shall start with the video. There will be no audio as I want you to focus on what's going on. Okay. Right. The video is actually is in one of my class where I teach Filipino martial arts. This was before the COVID. Since this is the AAD, I believe, Applied Design kuliah, I believe many of you noticed the patterns in the training, like circular patterns and straight diagonal patterns, but we will go more on that later, probably in the Q&A session. Right. Being healthy. There are a few definitions for it, but we'll go straight to the points. Okay, number one, being healthy is about eating right, like our second speaker. Right? Everybody knows that being healthy is not about eating right. Okay, it's also about having a right state of mind, spiritually and mentally. Okay, besides that, physical aspects also have to be taken into consideration as well. So it's not only you eat right, you have a sound mind and mentally and spiritually, but you also have to exercise. Right, let's do a simple review. Let's review our current lifestyle. Is it sedentary? Is it active? Now, being this time in COVID doesn't mean that we have to always stay in and get our day-to-day activities just right in front of the computer. Right, we also need to do physical activities to keep healthy. And yes, that includes in the month of Ramadan as well. Fasting is no excuse to be sleeping from sahur to iftar. From the audience, how many of you go out in the afternoons, right, jogging or play futsal? Can I see hands? Okay. All right. How many of you in the chat? Can I see hands, please? All right, good. Okay, I hope you keep it up. because for those who haven't started, I hope you will be inspired to do so by the end of the session. Okay. Now, I will touch on a few subtopics for this session, which I will share some experience. Right. Weight management. Now, being physically healthy helps with weight management. Right. Last time when I used to go to Aikido classes, I was much more bigger than this. You can confirm that with Sensei Shazli. I was much more bigger, right? So I was once working in a IT desk job, which requires me to sit at a table from 9 to 5. Okay, I was there for 3 years, and then I gained weight up to almost 95 kilograms. 95 kilograms. I was big. My friends at the office called me Tong Budu. I was big. So I had problems, okay, climbing 3 flights of stairs. I feel tired, okay, and I started to develop knee pains. Okay, it was a disaster. I couldn't fit into my clothes. Then I realized I had to do something. Okay, I had to exercise. Okay, after doing research, Google research that time, I enrolled into an all-in-one center where they had everything. Okay, it's a martial arts center. They had everything: Filipino martial arts, Taekwondo classes, Muay Thai classes, Capoeira, Japanese Judo, Aikido classes, yoga, dancing. They had gym and treadmills as well. Okay, believe me, I tried everything, even yoga and dancing. For a person who is a big size, I still do dancing. Okay. Eventually, I stayed with martial arts because for me, those two are functional skill sets that you carry on for life. Okay. And then you get a healthy dose of exercise ranging from stretching, flexibility, stamina, coordination, discipline, and so on. Right. I almost lost 30 kilos in about 2 years. In about 2 years, 30 kilos. Right. Okay. Fast forward, here I am now. Right. Okay, next, being physically healthy helps to maintain weight, because if you don't exercise, okay, the weight will keep on piling. Right? It reduces your health risk. Okay, physical activity reduces cardiovascular diseases, but the most scary thing about not being physically active is type 2 diabetes. While diabetes can be passed down from parent to child, type 2 diabetes can develop in individuals who previously doesn't have diabetes, who are not exercising. That means if you now do not have diabetes, but if you do not exercise, you might develop diabetes, and it can be passed down as a parent to child. So actually that's not what we want. If you do not have diabetes, please do physical exercises so you do not get diabetes and pass it down. Right. It reduces cancer. So physical exercises helps to prevent a lot of cancers. Okay, bladder cancer, colon, esophagus, kidney, lungs, stomach, the list goes on and on. Okay, it improves your quality of life. It promotes better sleep, deep sleep recovery, more energy, you get better mood, rest. It also helps you with anxiety problems. Okay. Being physically healthy also strengthens your bones and muscles. Okay. When you age, your muscles gets less dense, so you are prone to breaking. But if you exercise, it helps you with your muscles. Okay. Okay. Next is exercises. Physical exercises helps to promote healthy body and healthy mind. It helps with depression. Okay, because exercises will help block negative thoughts or your distractions, or maybe you are late for class and you worry that your lecturer gets angry at you. So exercise takes that anxiety away, right? So exercises increase your fitness, that lifts your mood and improve your sleeping patterns as well. So you don't get angry for no reason due to lack of rest. right? It also helps to improve brain chemicals such as serotonin, endorphins, and stress hormones. And this stress hormone actually leads and contributes to weight gain, which we are trying to prevent in the first place. So exercise the stress away. All right? So when you have a healthy state of mind, you tend to process information and do better critical thinking and be more creative. Now, I want to share a scenario with you. Now, I know a bodyguard, right? This is about the third point, which is better thinking process. I know about this bodyguard. He has a dispute with someone, and this someone is actually a drug user. Now, so what happened was this person came to this bodyguard, right, and then tried to pick a fight. Now, this bodyguard knows that he can actually do something to this person, but he decided that he doesn't want to do anything, right? So he let that mudpit in simple term, he let that armpit hit him. So he just wanted evidence. He just wanted bruises. So when he went to the police, he said, okay, this person hit him, and then the police went and caught the guy, put him under Akta 323 for causing harm. So being a bodyguard, that bodyguard he can actually overpower the mudpit. Okay, but he decided not to, right? I think that comes from one is the training. Two is he has clarity of mind. He can think rather than pick a fight with somebody who is who can't fight him back. Then he would rather, okay, let's do this, let's do it according to better procedures, right? So my session is not that long. I believe everything is almost covered by the previous speakers, right? But if you can see, without health, wealth is nothing, right? So thank you very much. Shukran jazilan. I leave the floor for Q&A session.
Okay, Alhamdulillah. I think the tough part when you become the final speaker is like to wrap up everybody's journey. So, is there any Q&A from questions from the floor? Any questions? Anyone? You want to ask anything about how to get physically fit? You tak tanya basic questions. Kan?
I have a question.
What happens when we get panic attack?
What happens when you get panic attack?
So how do we go about? Maybe you nak demo the breathing techniques sikit. So we have an angle where we can show a demo. Sebab I rasa basically sometimes when people get anxiety attack, dia tak tahu what to do, how to calm oneself. So dia macam the immediate steps that you need to do when you have that panic attack, anxiety attack. Dia ada masa-masa tu kita, especially after the long PKP lockdown at times I think I discovered my daughter, she was not able to speak langsung sebab dia lama dekat depan komputer, lockdown, not going out kan. So dia ada this kind of a communication problem juga. So what would be the first step that you need to do when you get anxiety attack atau panic attack? Especially esok ada submission. Our students have a sleepless night sometimes, that they're not balancing the habits kan, for the healthy punya lifestyle. So what would be ada soalan?
Ada soalan.
Okay. Where do you get your motivation to maintain your healthy lifestyle? Motivation.
Okay. Where do I get the motivation for me to maintain my healthy lifestyle? Okay, number one, it needs to come with passion. If you just do something just for the sake of it, you'll be doing it like 3 months and then probably you stop. Now, to be doing martial arts, one, I had problems. So that problem need to be solved. Now, the number one problem was weight problem, and it was giving me knee pains and I was tired, and I do not want it to become worse. Maybe a heart problem, okay? Maybe a heart problem. Maybe it could lead to diabetes. So I do not want my leg to be cut off. Diabetes, simple as that. So once I started my journey into martial arts, okay. Actually, in the first place, you really need to push yourself. I'm sharing you with my experience. When I first started martial arts, I trained for 6 days a week. So imagine if I were to go to Aikido classes with Sensei Shazli. I went Aikido classes with Sensei Shazli and I think a few more teachers as well. If I were to be thrown around 50 times per session, 50 times 6, that would be 300 times I'm being thrown around. So yes, per week. Sometimes I have classes in the morning and I go to classes in the afternoon as well. So I only stopped a bit. I only slowed down a bit when I think that was the third year I was doing martial arts, because I was peeing blood for 2 weeks. But it was nothing serious. When I checked with the doctor, it was because I was falling too much. and doing too much heavy activity, so I slowed down a bit. But then I realized that if I don't keep up, I don't maintain my activities, then I would go back to where I was in the first place. So I do not want to get back in square one. I lost the ability to do many things. I lost stamina. I get tired easily. I can't wear my clothes. I need to buy new clothes all the time. So I do not want that to happen anymore. Sometimes you need some kind of factor that makes you stay in one condition and then maintain it. Any more questions?
And another second question is, we have the source of motivation to your goals.
Do I have the source of the motivation to achieve?
Ada anything yang make you feel motivated? Contohnya, dengan one girl, and then you want to get that girl, you know. So you were mentioning about badan yang besar, kan? We have to be confident with our physical
Okay.
as well, kan?
All right. That time I was already married, so that was out of the question. I'm sorry. But it was more of a health issue, and the realization that I cannot be in this state. It's not a good state to be in.
I've seen this since you are my neighbor, so I thought you're very active, getting your children to be motivated.
Okay.
So it has to be the parent guiding the kids as well, right? It's not just like get the kids to play on themselves, but there will be a certain set of aim and goals that you want to achieve. And you want to achieve the aims and goals.
Yes, of course.
For the children as well. So even I see parents' guidance is quite important. Okay, and it's not just for the university students saja. The fitness has to come from the early. It becomes a good habit and practice. And so maybe you want to share a bit of the things that you plan. For example, your children, kan? I saw them bicycle riding, and then they have you put some obstacles.
Yes.
So maybe you can do a bit of sharing, because we do also have UIA staff in our online platform. So maybe you want to give some tips on how to plan the fitness I mean, they have fitness, physical fitness
Yeah,
for
physical
the
fitness.
children as well.
For the children, okay. For the children, okay. Children in general, they need to have something exciting. You can't ask them to do something monotonous, and if you ask them to play, it's not specific. So actually, in martial arts, it's more of a specific instruction sets. You can confirm that with any martial artist. Okay, when the teacher asks you to do something, and then you do it. Teacher asks you to, okay, jump, you jump. So with children, if you just let them play, they probably play around for a bit, and then they probably dig up grass. Okay, they probably dig up grass, and they'll probably just walk around because they don't have any specific instructions or things to do. Then it's a role of the parents to make sure that, okay, they have this set of activity, and then you do this, and then you do this, and then you do this. So it helps them a lot, and I get that. I get a lot of that from my martial arts training, because every teacher that I go to, okay, you do this, and then after this you do this, and then you do this like 30 times, and then you repeat, and then you do that specific thing in reverse, and then you do that from the right side, and then you change, and then you do it from the left side. So it's specific instructions. So I think that can be applied to children as well. So it makes them. It makes things easier for them as well, and then for the parents.
Okay, we have another question. Is it actually safe for the women to practice these martial arts? Since we know that women ada banyak pantang larang. Oh, I didn't know whether the women have pantang larang. But anyway, and you did mention that in the practice you've been thrown a lot.
Can I share something on that?
Ladies ada pantang larang apa, I'm not sure, Syafiqah, tapi sebab tengok nama Syafiqah kan.
Can I share something on that, Ben?
You kena cakap juga kat madam ni apa pantang larang perempuan. So maybe I think Encik Fakhruddin also train the women as well kan, for the martial art juga kan. Ada banyak women juga kan. I think Puan Emilia is one of the students as well.
She will be Sensei Shazli's
Yalah,
student.
Encik Shazli punya ni lah kan, Encik Shazli yang train kan. It's not gender.
It's not gender. Oh, actually, it is pretty safe for ladies to train as well. One of my earliest trainer, when I enrolled into the all-in-one center, for my first lesson, I was actually taught by a Japanese who was sent over from Japan here. Okay, Shihan Jun Yamada. But Shihan Jun Yamada, he was old. He was old, and he has places to go. He has other classes to attend to. So sometimes his daughter would come and teach. His daughter would come to, and his daughter was, I think about that time, his daughter was around 28, 29. Of course, I get thrown around by his daughter as well. But when in training, every time the students were tasked to throw her back, she took it gracefully. So you need to start it gradually first. It's a form of progression, like Sensei Shazli says. You don't start getting thrown right away on the cement floor. No, you start from a roll first. So it prepares your body for the fall, for the throw, and then it gets progressively higher, and then faster, and then much more rigorous. Okay, going to that. Okay, falling the training for falling has actually saved me once. Okay, I was going down the staircase, and then I was carrying something. I was carrying an object. Okay, and then on the steps, which I did not see, there was cat vomit. I stepped on the cat vomit, and my legs went away from me. Okay, I sleep. Basically, I sleep. Okay. It was a diagonal staircase. So when I fell down, automatically my training went inside. When came out. So my hand basically broke my fall. Instead of my head hitting the stairs, okay, my hand went first. So I was safe. Actually, I was safe. I fall onto staircase and I was safe. Okay. Right.
Can I add in?
I believe if without martial arts, I could have gotten some grievous injury. Right. I was almost falling on my head first.
Can I add into that then?
Right. So I believe.
Shazli nak say something.
Okay. Shazli.
Yeah, can I add on to that? The question whether ladies are actually suitable to train in martial art depends. Okay, again, it depends on the martial art and depends on the individual body. But if let's say you talk about Aikido per se, I think as Fakulin has mentioned, and I actually have mentioned earlier, it's about the gradual improvement of your ability to do something. You do not start something suddenly becoming expert. It needs to take, it will be on stages. Of course, as mentioned earlier, when you train in Aikido, especially in if I'm teaching you, I will first ask you okay, this is the way to fall properly. And the fall would not, I think then can confirm with this, but of course I think I better ask woman lah. But the fall would not hurt you. It is structured in such a way that you will not hurt yourself. And I think then shared that you actually learning how to fall actually save you when you actually fall on the stairs. I actually was involved in an accident on a motorbike, and I actually rolled myself, and I was not hurt at all. It's actually I was flipped over and actually rolled onto the ground, and there's nothing happened to me. So in a sense, in a way that although for me when you train in Aikido and things like that, or in any martial art, the most important thing is to build the muscle memory. When you have that within you, and of course you can actually again, it's not only physical, it's the mental aspect of it, the psychological aspect of it, as shared earlier. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Is there any other last questions before kita nak wrap up the whole thing? I'm Fadila, panjang. Okay, I'm Fadila. She is asking, I once joined Aikido during the foundation studies. I am sorry, but it's kind of thing and boring because at first we were only taught to improve our hara. I don't really remember what it is called, but how do you maintain and stay in Aikido?
Can I ask whether the sensei that taught her is Sensei Hafiz?
Prudence start dulu.
I start. Okay. Okay, dua orang. Okay. Okay. How did I maintain? How did I maintain and stay in Aikido? Okay. Right. Again, it's about passion. I have a passion for martial art. It's like some people like cooking. So no matter what, they cook. They cook for people, they cook for themselves. Okay. My passion for martial arts, helped me to stay and do Aikido, and besides Aikido, I do other martial arts as well, as you can see from the profile, Filipino martial arts, and then also Silat from Indonesia. Number one, you need to have passion. Number two, it's about patience. Okay, sometimes when you are you break that boundary where you get it, you finally get it, then it becomes like, oh, it becomes fun and interesting. Sensei, over to Sensei.
Oh, okay. All right. I think when we talk about, okay, wellness, the title is about wellness, the webinar. When we talk about that, whatever you do is always in whatever you do in life is always about passion. Even for example, if let's say when I started my business. Why do I start my business? Of course, everyone say that, okay, when you start a business, is about the focus is about making money. But if you do not have the passion, after two or three rejection, you will okay lah. You will actually angkat tangan and say that, okay lah, that's it. I will start I will continue working again. Similarly, when you study something, okay, why is in the first place you are taking AAD? If let's say I had a few friends that actually took last time they actually join UIA, learn BBA for Bachelor of Business Admin for 2 years, but after that he said that I cannot continue with this anymore. I do not have passion for it. And he actually continued in IT in some other universities, and now he's a senior lecturer in Unimas or something like that. So it's about passion. When you talk about, if let's say, when you ask about Aikido, how I can actually be in Aikido for the past 27 years is about passion again, and it's about sharing. When I'm sharing my knowledge, and even when I'm sharing my knowledge, not only in Aikido, in other areas as well, is about, you have the end in mind. You know that kita ni bukan ahli ibadah sebenarnya, kita I'm thinking we are not an ahli ibadah. So how do we actually get, and looking to hereafter, where we can actually get the pahala, the necessary pahala for us? It's about when you share things, when you share your knowledge, and when someone applies it, automatically there will be actually unknowingly there's some pahala for us. Even when I'm teaching my Aikido, when I taught my Aikido, sometimes I actually have to pay my students to come. Basically, I need to pay for the areas, the dojo and whatnot, the place to train. When the students actually paid me, it's not enough to cover that. So hence, in a way, I'm paying my students to come and train with me. So it's about passion again. Okay, just about hara and whatnot, I think you train with my ex student as well, since Hafiz. But